Well, we have a couple fall fun projects to do to decorate up your front porch. A lot of us, put the pumpkins out on the porch, but this kind of elevates it to the next step.
It sure is. And so we have two different kind of projects. And so Ryan, I think you should start yours first.
Yeah, so what I'm doing is I'm just taking a regular old pumpkin, I'm leaving it whole, not carving it out. And what we're doing is we're decorating it with succulents. So the couple different routes you can do. I've chosen succulents. These are all hardy sedums and sempervirens that I harvested from work at Little Prince. We grow and sell these to lots of different garden centers, or you have a lot of them in your yard. So these are kind of nice because you can decorate the outside of the pumpkin and leave it out during the cold weathers. You can also do them with the indoor succulents or the tillandsias, but for today's project we're going to use the hardy ones. So what we started with is putting down just a little bit of moss. You can find the moss sometimes in the yard, or you can get them at like your craft store, or the independent garden centers will carry little bags of this. And this we just kind of hot glued. We got a hot glue gun here, and we just kind of tacked these down a little bit. And this kind of makes a nice little kind of a bed to start gluing this onto. And so what we've done, and so this is like a little semperviren, a little hen and chick that we've harvested out of the yard. They put off these lots of little babies. What we want to do is we'll kind of just cut off the bottom roots. We're not worried about keeping those roots on. So we'll just kind of trim those off like this. And then we'll just kind of put a little dollop of hot glue on there. Like that. And then we will just start tucking these in throughout there. So I've chosen lots of different, different colors, different styles. And I also like to do a lot of like little, the little dangly things. So there's like this little sedum red wiggle has kind of this fun color. So I'll just, glue these up like this, stick those in there, and then we can just kind of tuck these in. And it's kind of fun to have this just dribble down, and the glue just sticks and dries pretty quickly. So while I'm finishing up mine and getting a little decorated, I'll throw it over to you, Judy, and you can show us your project, what you're doing.
All right. So mine is just a little bit more messy than Ryan's. So we're actually going to cut into this pumpkin. So I'm using one of those jack-o'-lantern carving knives. It's really nice on these hard-shelled pumpkins. And so you just kind of go around, and then you lift off the top and kind of make a space big enough for your plant. And of course, yes, there's going to be seeds like that. You could just cut them. You could, if you want to roast them, you can take all the guts out and then clean them and then roast these seeds, or you can just leave them in there. We're going to kind of make this as easy as possible. You want to put a little bit of soil in there, and we're using black gold, just all-purpose soil, and just kind of put that in there because we're using this like a container, like you would do any of the pretty containers that you have on your front porch, but we're going to use the shell of the pumpkin. And then we got this really nice little seasonal mum at Independent Garden Center. We're just going to roughen up all those roots, and we're going to plant it right into that pumpkin. And look at that. It's just about done. I'm going to finish up dressing up my project, and Ryan, you're going to finish up yours.
I'm going to finish attaching mine, and we'll be done here in a minute, and we'll show you the finished product. So now that we have it all decorated up, in a finished product the way you like it, this guy can be left out on the porch all fall. And so what will happen is, as the pumpkin starts to rot later this fall or winter, you can just lift this entire moss thing with all of the succulents left on there and just go plant it either in the yard or in pot, because these will continue to draw moisture through the air and they'll start to root and grow, which is super fun.
And so with mine, I just kind of finished the edge with a little bit of that same moss just to kind of make it just a little more decorative. And if you had a bigger pumpkin, you could put more plants, would be lovely. Because at your independent garden center, they are loaded with lots of fall interest plants. And then when this pumpkin begins to rot, and it'll be a little quicker than Ryan's, you can just take the plants out and plant them in a container or in your garden and compost the pumpkin.
So we hope this gives you a couple good ideas of how to elevate your pumpkin to the next level.